It's 8:09 on a Wednesday, a hump day here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTKA.com. We're live here inside the Suburban Chevrolet Make the Choice studios. And every Wednesday, top of the nine, we get some wisdom, some insight, some analysis from a guy who is on his way, Big Ten Network analyst, and who knows what else is on the horizon. Marcus Ray. Marcus, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Sam. How's it going, brother?
It's going great. Glad to talk to you as always, my man. So much.
Same here.
So much has gone on since the last time we spoke. I guess I'll start off with the hottest story, and that is Donald Sterling's latest interview. I had planned my conversation with you before he came out and did the Anderson Cooper deal. And I was going to ask you, as much as he deserves, in my opinion, the rebuke that he's receiving from the public collectively, on some level, and this is before he went out and started speaking and throwing gasoline on the fire. On some level, to begin with, was he a victim? Was he a victim when, he's in the privacy of his own home and a woman is taping him and putting it out there for public consumption?
I don't think he's a victim, Sam, honestly. I just think what's done in the dark is definitely going to come out in the light. But even though he's entitled to his own opinion, I don't think it was the world's business. And the way it went about, I think he got victimized.
Gotcha.
But I don't think he was necessarily a victim. But
Great distinction.
I don't think that he understands that he's responsible for his response. And it's like the longer he speaks and the more he says things, the deeper the hole gets that he digs for himself. So at this point, I just think it's time to let it go and just do the legal thing, because nothing that comes out of his mouth is going to sound good. It's not going to be right. But, I was thinking the other day, and I don't know all of the business behind the Lakers and the Clippers, but I think that he doesn't like Magic Johnson because Magic won championships while he was in the same city, playing for the other team when the Clippers were a terrible franchise. I mean, it could go deeper than that, but I'm just going to keep it right on the surface for me. But I think this Donald Sterling circus needs to stop pretty soon.
Right, I'm with you, man. Well, his final salvo was, "Hey, Magic is trying to get my team," and I guess he's implying, or maybe outright saying that, hey, Magic orchestrated this whole thing or had a hand in it. Do you buy the conspiracy theory portion of this?
I don't buy it, but I don't sell it. I'm still looking at it, and I'm shopping, and I'm thinking, I don't put anything past anybody. I think it's a bit of a stretch from the Magic Johnson that we know. But at the same time, I think someone did put that young lady up to that trick to at least play a tape recorder. I don't think she came up with that on her own. I'm not saying Magic told her to do it. But in this world, you never know who's pulling whose strings and how things all will work together. But that's a pretty good conspiracy theory, really. I kind of like it. It makes sense. It makes sense. But I don't think that's how it went down if I was a betting man.
Marcus, I don't know if money, clouds your judgment, your ability to read people, your perspective. But, he said something after the fact that he should have paid her off. How about if you have $2.5 or $3 billion? You just don't care much about what one side would say. Don't you have like 25? And you can have 25 that believe the exact same things you believe, right? If you have that kind of money, you would think.
Yeah, Sam, you would think, that you know what? I think the problem with money is it magnifies who you are.
I got you.
If you're stingy, then you're going to be a billion times even more stingier. And if you're generous and giving, I think it just makes you more generous. If you're a person who doesn't shop, or you're very frugal, then I think you're going to kind of stay that way for the most part. But money, so I just think he is who he is. And now that I think that money just created a bigger monster and gave him a bigger platform. And anything you feed will survive. Anything you starve will die. And I think his ego kept getting fed, with that money. Money is like food to the ego, success and money. And I think certain people that get a little overweight in that category, not a bad thing. Then their mind gets out of shape. And I think that's just where he is right now.
I see why you write books, man. You speak in metaphors. you perpetually speak in metaphors. But I dig it. I dig it though, Marcus. I mean, it makes sense. It's enlightening, and that's why you do Rays of Light. We're talking to Marcus Ray this morning here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, online at WTK.com. So let's move over to the NFL draft. Did anything surprise you early in that first round? Did you think Clowney should have gone number 1? Were you surprised by Jacksonville at number 3 with Bortles? What do you think of the job that Cleveland did? Maybe your winners and losers, that kind of thing.
You know what? I really wasn't surprised by the draft in the first round. I think it's very hard to pass up on a freak of nature, special kind of talent like Jadeveon Clowney. He was highly scouted for 3 years now out of high school, so the NFL knew what they were getting. But you can't pass up a big-time pass rusher in this league. The NFL is a passing league now, and that's why you saw Jacksonville take Bortles at 3. They want their guy, a drop-back guy. They don't want to take any risks with Johnny football and all that. They want to get a guy who's going to come in there and fit their system and make some plays their way. But I will tell you, I was surprised to see Marquez Denard drop down, to I believe the third corner taken. But this draft is all about who likes who, and you never know until you see the picks being made or being completed. But I wasn't surprised by anything. Cleveland, honestly, that was a genius move that they made to trade back and get a first rounder next year, start moving around, moving and shaking, and they still ended up with, big time corner to go alongside of Joe Hayden, and then they turn around and get Johnny football. So, I'm from Ohio. Cleveland needs an injection of hope. And so that's why they went crazy. That whole LeBron thing just got turned Cleveland upside down, and they haven't had anything to get excited about with 13 wins in 3 years. So now they have a chance to get excited about football again.
Let's bring it local. What do you think of the Lions getting Eric Ebron in the first round? They're trying the tight end that they say is Jimmy Graham, who Jimmy Graham said don't classify me as a tight end when it comes to that pay scale. And Eric Ebron, they're saying they're going to use the same way. And then Taylor Lewan going in the first round to Tennessee, Mike Schofield going in the third round to Denver.
Well, the Lions could use help in a lot of areas, but sometimes it's hard to pass up on a guy like Ebron. I mean, he can play now. He can help you. I believe he went to North Carolina, right?
Right.
Yeah. He made a lot of plays, man, and, you only get one pick. Every team wishes that they can grab 2 or 3 players at one time, but it just doesn't happen like that. And the Lions right now are thinking offense, and they already got Megatron. I think they needed an upgrade at tight end anyways, and then they signed Golden Tate, right?
Right,
so now they got a 1, a 2, and a tight end, and they still got Reggie Bush, so they got their quarterback. So, I'm not mad at that because an athletic tight end right now, guys like that are changing the game in the NFL. Schematically, defensively, matchups all over the place. As far as Jimmy Graham goes, he's a football player. I don't consider him a wideout or a tight end. You can put him anywhere. It's not where he lines up, it's where he winds up. And that's something we used to use in coaching. He's going to be on the field somewhere making plays. And I think the Lions, took what they could get, man.
Okay. All right. I got you. And then you got Taylor going to Tennessee. You got Mike Schofield going to Denver, and then Jeremy Gallon getting picked. You think that was low for Jeremy Gallon in the 7th round?
I think it was good because he got drafted. Some of us never experienced getting drafted.
And he goes to play with Tom Brady, if he makes the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he can be a Wes Welker, but he can be a Wes Welker type.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Gallon can he's going to put in work. If given the right opportunity. Then he had the man with the plan throwing him the football. So, I mean, things are probably looking good for Jeremy Gallen. But as far as Taylor and Mike getting drafted, I thought that was excellent. I didn't know Mike would go that high, but offensive linemen and offensive tackles, they are at a premium right now in the NFL. And I think Taylor, getting drafted in the top 11 or something like that. I think we all knew that was coming, but we need to get more young brothers getting drafted. I mean, honestly, we do. And I think that when you look at the draft and you look at some of the success rate of Michigan football, it goes kind of hand in hand. You get three guys, even though there's youth and stuff like that, but there were some other kids that came out. It's not like when we had three guys eligible for the draft. So we need more NFL caliber kids who want to graduate and play at a high level. When you recruit kids that are NFL hungry, then that means they will do what they have to do to stay eligible. And they're going to come in and play football like there's no tomorrow. You'll win more games. You got the right coach, and then they go make their money. So that's just what I want to see. I want to see us recruit some more NFL kind of caliber talent so we can enjoy watching the draft too.
All right. The last big draft story, Michael Sam. I'm curious, do you think that he fell because of his because that he came out? Do you think he fell because of his combine? And then, how about this for the final question? Is this are we on the threshold, if you will, of oversaturation when it comes to Michael Sam? I know when it was Tim Tebow, his star was bigger than his game. His cause, what he represented, was bigger than his performance, and that seemed to buoy his career, kept him in the league as a prominent figure longer. Do you think that there's a possibility of that with Michael Sam as well, as far as the threshold, the popularity, and all of that?
Yeah, I think that he's getting too much play, too much airtime, too much media hype for his sexual orientation, more so than his on the field life, or his on the field play. So there's this Michael Sam media frenzy, when really he was just a football player a few years ago, 12 months ago, to the world. So my thing is, let's celebrate Michael Sam on the football field. Let's watch him play. He's in the NFL now. See if he can make the team. Did he slide down because of his orientation? Maybe 70% of me will say no. 30% would say yes. But if Jadeveon Clowney had came out, he still would have went number one. So really in the NFL, at the end of the day, they could care less what you do unless it's on the football field and off the football field legally. That's really all the NFL cares about. But now in the world we live in with social networking, social media, everybody wants a story, a feel-good story. The NFL doesn't need any extra branding. The shield is the shield. But we all in the media now. Then there's a Tebow here, and then next thing you know, we got Michael Sam there, and then next thing you know, in 2 years from now, it'll be somebody else. It all comes and it goes. And I mean, we're not even talking about Jameis Winston in the crab legs no more. That's how fast this world is moving. So this Michael Sam thing now, I mean, we're not talking about Manti Te'o getting catfished 18 months ago. Like, that kind of stuff comes and goes, and there's an explosion, and then it goes away.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Marcus, as always, great stuff. We appreciate your time. Tell folks how they can get their hands on Rays of Light.
Amazon.com, mden.com, mray29@gmail.com. You can always call me, 734-645-9618. Hey, man, I'm down here in Bowling Green right now at this NFL broadcast journalism and communications boot camp, and it's off the hook. A lot of learning how to write and do a lot of things, man. And it's something about getting around my former NFL buddies, guys that, when I say NFL buddies, I mean guys that played in the league. Then it gives you that NFL mentality once again. Like, we all are able to connect because of that NFL vibe, man. So I'm on a natural high right now, man. So I had to miss this meeting so I could make sure I could do my Rays of Light weekly assignment. But and then all these guys are supporting the movement too, man. So everything's good. Just trying to get better every day, Sam. And I appreciate it, Ira.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks a lot. Get back to that meeting, Marcus. We appreciate you, man. We'll get back with you next week. That was Marcus Ray and Rays of Light. We're gonna piggyback off of Marcus's Rays of Light, all the the enlightenment that he was able to provide. We're gonna get some of that from the trio of Michigan assistant basketball coaches. We've gotten a lot of great insight over the years, got a chance to go behind the scenes and talk about the buildup. We also get a chance to talk about the future, what the team is going to look like next year, the preparation that they've seen thus far has looked like. We'll get to Jeff Meyer, Bakari Alexander, and Val Jordan for our postseason roundtable on the other side here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050 WTKA, the official voice of University of Michigan.